According to the IRS, the #1 crime in America today is identity theft. True story. Do you know 3 people who have not had their identity stolen? Guess what? The statistics say that 1 in 4 Americans will fall victim to some form of identity theft. Now, go congratulate your 3 friends who got off easy. Am I telling you this just to make you paranoid? Kick the covers all night? Hardly. I bring good tidings, because you know me, you can beat the odds. If I fail you, I have a $5 million guarantee in place to put your life back together. Yes, it does feel a bit like a superpower, but I refuse to wear the tights. Seriously though, identity theft is no laughing matter. Let me protect you before it happens. CFRN.net/legal shield. You can thank me later. Your peace of mind is waiting at CFRM.net/legal shield.
Greetings, Dwayne, CFRN. It's Friday night and I'm making a video. 21st day of April 2017. Now, I'm pretty sure that last night was video number 9. I think this will be number 10. And I think I'm going to call it for a spell. Remember, we did a 3-year public beta test of the Concierge Trade Alerts. And once we were completely satisfied that we had it down, 3-year public beta. That means we gave it all away for free for 3 years while you gave us feedback so that we could fine-tune and hone the product. Product's been on the market now for 2.5 years. And I just thought, you know, it's been a long time. We have so many partners and concierge clients and I stay so busy, but there's so many people out there who they see me do the recap on the radio show, but they don't even really know what it is. I'll tell you what it is. It's a little email I send out every night. True story. I try to get it out by 9 p.m. Last night, I got it out at 8 p.m. The 2 previous nights, I didn't do so good. Alright? But last night was Johnny on the spot. Because we had a partners workshop at 9 p.m. Eastern, I got them out at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I would have a clear head for the workshop and I wouldn't be worried about racing through it to get out the alerts. Now, you're looking at yesterday's movement by 23.99, 2.5 points. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. Consolidation at the zone. Wham, up to the next zone. Consolidation at the zone. 19-point run. Okay, if this were 20 points, it'd be $1,000 per contract. If you're a 10 contract trader, 10 grand. Okay. Now, I don't want to make it sound easy because it's not. Trading's not easy, but it can be simple. I've been showing you the same stuff over and over, day after day, week after week, for years. As for the weekly trading zones, I've been showing those to you since December 14th of 2009. Now, I'm not saying all that to paint us as the perfect traders, Wall Street geniuses, or any of that rot. We've worked really hard and we've learned a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to trading. So we continue to trade, and we also train people to trade. Every book you've ever read about creating wealth says you need multiple income streams. Well, we feel very blessed that we've been able to develop multiple income streams inside of something that we both enjoy very much, Michael and I, and that's trading. We have other irons in the fire as well, as should you, okay? Now, trading can be whatever you want it to be. Do you want freedom? Do you want to not have a boss? Do you not want to have employees? Do you want to not have to deal with inventory? Do you want to be able to work anywhere in the world that there's fast internet service? Now, this sounds like all those dreamy emails and dreamy websites where you're going to spend the rest of your life with the toe in the sand and you're going to work 5 minutes a day and you're going to earn $4,927.32 before the maid serves you breakfast. Well, that's not exactly how we do it. We work a little bit harder, but we don't work so hard that it becomes complicated. So many great tools out there that actually do what they are supposed to do. Everything from stochastics to RSI to Bollinger Band to advanced decline lines to the trend to the tricks. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of stuff. We created our own stuff that suited our needs. We created way too much stuff, and it got to the point where we couldn't see price, so we had to get rid of like 95% of our stuff so we could get down to the basics of trading. What you really need to do more than anything else is you need to be able to learn how to read a chart, like a newspaper, like a mystery novel. When you show up for work every day, you're like a detective showing up at the crime scene. Your phone rings, boss, we got a body. You jump in the car, you arrive at the crime scene, you introduce yourself, flash your badge, whip out your little notebook, or if you're a fancy new officer, you whip out your little voice recorder, and you start talking into it, and everything that you see, and you're calling the photographer, hey, take a picture of this, take a picture of this, from this angle, I want to see it from this angle. Hey, that's your charts, right? And you're making notes of everything on the scene. Victim's watch was missing. How do I know he was wearing a watch? Because he had a white spot on his wrist where the watch normally would be. He was a tanned gentleman, Caucasian, but tanned, and it's obvious his watch was missing. No wallet. Was this a robbery? Or was it staged to look like a robbery? Well, you're going to have all your beat cops in all the dumpsters up and down the alley looking for his wallet. Is it empty? Is it full? Oh my, you find the wallet, it's still got the credit card, it's still got the money, and there's the watch and the cell phone buried under some trash in the dumpster. It's a murder, but what appeared to be a robbery wasn't. Okay, so the same with the market. You learn to read the clues, and because the market, which consists of every trader out there, including you and me, as we make our moves, we leave a big trail in our wake. You know how we've seen the movies with the trackers, the Native American, the bent twig or the grass has been pressed down, and they put their ear to the ground and then they touch it here, and then the ground's warm. There were horses here 3 hours ago. They just stuck their finger in a horse patty. You know what I'm saying? Thank God it doesn't get that gross, right? But you're assessing not only where price lies, but where the consensus of the market is. What are the people thinking? Where are the buyers camped out? Where are the sellers camped out? Now, we knew that this morning. We knew that Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern when we sent out these weekly trading zones. If you scroll this thing back to the Globex Open, Sunday night Globex Open, price kind of flatlined. We had an alert end to buy 23.29. It ran up 3.5 points, right up into the weekly zone. You could have called it a day right there. It got back below the trigger. It got down to 28.75. One tick below the trigger. All it takes. You're going to put your stop right below that. Your risk is so small on this, not even funny. It's hilarious. That's how small it is. Consolidation, and then a run to the zone. From 33 to 42, that's 9 S&P points. Now, from where we originally said to buy, 17 points. Do I have your attention yet? From here to here, 17 points. And by the way, we never get out at the exact swing high or the exact swing low. Why? Well, because we trail our stop, which means we're always going to leave a little something on the table. You got to get over that. Now, last night during the partners workshop, this is how I left it with the gang. I'm scooting over now to where we are. All that other stuff is on the previous day's videos. We ended the partners meeting at 11 p.m. Eastern last night, so that would be 2,300 hours. 2,300 hours right here. Okay. Now, I told the guys, I said to close the business tomorrow, price will have found its way to the zone overhead or the zone below. Now, let me just give you what we had to work with last night. Okay. 2,300. We ended the workshop at 11 o'clock. Okay, right there. Now, I drew this little rectangle from here over to here. I stretched it a little bit this morning. But I said if we close 2 points below this rectangle, then it's a high probability that we're going to go down to the zone below. If we close above the weekly trading zone by at least 2 points, which would be 2358, then there's a high probability that we're going to go to this zone. So we don't have to worry if the market falls or rallies, because we know what we're going to do either way. True to form. Price comes down, and we're talking about this live on the radio as it was happening today. And I told everyone, guys, you just might want to consider getting short from 23.45 to 23.43. Plus, if you don't have your 2 points for the day, then there they are. Because see, we found out we only need 2 points a day. The solution in our mind is not more points. The solution is more contracts. The catch is every new contract you add has to be underwritten by profits you earned in the market. You have to get consistently profitable in SEM, then with one contract, then you increase your account balance by $2,000, then you add a second contract, then we go to the calendar-based method, and you know way ahead of time what day you're going to add the next contract. And you will, as long as you want to, as long as you want to continue to grow your business. Now, some people get comfortable at 5 contracts, some at 10. Our blueprint is designed to take the most mediocre of traders from 1 to 20 contracts over a period of 24 months. Is that you? Okay, then, very well. So this did exactly as we thought it might do. Mike Reed came on. We talked about this little bounce. See, we had a leg, a retracement, a leg, a retracement. And because important prices, important areas are almost always tested, we had another leg, but remember I talked to you about zones being an area? Just like fibs, they don't always go. Now, Sunday night on the Globex Open, what do I think is going to happen? I think price is going to go, it's either going to gap lower on the open, or it's going to simply move down to which will, on Sunday night, will be last week's zones. However, zones have carryover power. That's why Monday through Wednesday, I show the old zones to the general public, but the partners get the new zones at 6:15 a.m. every Monday morning. Okay? So, now, I went out on a limb last night. I said, guys, I'm going out on a limb. There's very few absolutes in the world of trading, but I absolutely believe that by tomorrow afternoon, or whatever time it may be, I'm not going to pin a time on it. It's like pin a tail on the donkey. You look stupid. I said price is either going to go to the zone overhead or the zone below. Okay? It was in the 1 o'clock candle today that we touched down and then lifted off. The zone was resistance, as we would expect it to be. The zone was support, as we would expect it to be. Well, if that's always going to be resistance and this is always going to be support, does that mean trading's over? Well, I'll tell you, if it actually meant that, from 43 to 55, that's 12 points. I could live on $600 a day per contract for the rest of my life. But no, eventually this zone's going to give away, or eventually this zone's going to give away. Okay? So great day in the S&P, and you had this trade in your inbox last night. Right? Right. Now, I was demonstrating today how this first break of 2346, where would your stop need to be? Up here maybe? But yet on this next pierce, your stop needs to only be here. Which one would you rather have? Which one provided the biggest trade? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? Either way, okay, you didn't get stopped out, but this would have been too much risk. This would have been a far better risk scenario, and 5.5 points, I can live with that any day of the week per contract. On the Dow, we suggested selling 25.10, and we dropped 60 points to the zone below. We turned right around and ran back up. We went from zone to zone, back to the zone. So that's a total of 75 points down, 75 points back up. That's 150 points. That's why we have some partners who don't do the Concierge Trade Alerts. They don't do what we do in the live trading room each day. They just trade the zones. Soybeans, they never triggered. Gold, that's the wrong gold chart. Bonds, stop out or a very small gain. Okay? Today was not the best day of the week by any stretch of the imagination. Now, let me show you what happened here on crude oil. We said to sell 50.30. It dropped over $1,000 per contract. Now, I had drawn some fibs earlier in the day, but we can get rid of those fibs because they're not germane to what I'm trying to explain to you right here. We have a rule of thumb that says anytime you make $1,000 per contract with the Concierge Trade Alerts on one instrument in one day, it's time to take the money and put the mouse away. Why? Because price is always going to revert to the mean. The rubber band can only stretch so far, and it has to go back. And where does it go back to? It goes back to the BVC. But I'm trading with no indicators whatsoever. Now, if I want to put those indicators back on here, I can certainly do that. And what does it give me? You see the black step line here? On a short trade, when it gets on the north side of the CFMA1 and closes green, that's bullish against a short trade, which is red, that means it's time to get out. I could have used the rule of thumb and got out here with $1,000 per contract, or I could have pushed it and got out with less. Either way, you ended up with a great day if you were trading crude. Oh, and where did the journey begin? We spent all night consolidating at the zone, and then we get a bearish cross, and away we go. Put in a doji, we start to climb. There's a possibility we gap higher Sunday night on crude. But I'm not going to prophesy, I'm not going to promise. What I will do, though, is at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Sunday night, if you're on the Concierge Trade Alert trial, and by the way, guys, I got to whack a lot of people this weekend. No, I'm not a soprano. When I say I got to whack a lot of people, some of you have been on the Concierge trial more than 5 days, okay? I'm sorry. I can't let you stay there forever. It's not fair to the other traders who have committed their time and treasure to becoming a Concierge client or a CFRN partner. We actually have an offer right now that allows you to become both. Yeah. You spend 90 days in our mentoring program. You can remain an active partner after that for $75 a month, and you can receive the Concierge Trade Alerts every night. Whoa. You can also go to cfrn.net/trade stalker, and you can get Mike Reed's newsletter. This guy's been trading over 30 years. You can get his plan, how he's going to trade the market tomorrow. You can get tomorrow's newspaper tonight. True story. Okay? And you'll learn that when his daily levels correspond with our weekly levels, oh my goodness. It's like candy in a candy store. Now, he only does the S&P and the NQ. We do quite a few more markets, but for those of you that trade the S&P and the NQ, this is going to be a real blessing to you. So be sure and go to cfrn.net/trade stalker. All one word, just like it sounds. Okay? All right. Next, we're going to go to the NQ. The NQ on the first move down gave us 5 1/4 points at $20 per point. Stop way up here. Second move down gave us twice as much, 11 points at $20 per point, and your stop only had to be right here. That's what we call Mo Better. All right. Gold. Gold, we said to buy 1287. All right. This right here, you got to put your stop down here, even here. It's kind of hard to do. Now, get another nice run here, but where's your stop? Yeah, man, that's a lot. Now we get a $300 run. Where's our stop? Well, that's more reasonable, don't you think? And we only do 8 markets. I mean, actually, this should say we do 8 markets, 2 trades per market. As you can see, most of the trades trigger more than once per day. So you've got 8 markets times 2 trades, that's 16 setups. And then when you add in the fact that many times important prices, important areas are tested, wow, you end up with a boatload of trades. Now, I don't expect you to take every one of those trades. I expect you to take the market that you really like, that you enjoy, that you appreciate, and make hay while the sun shines. You know what? if you are not going to follow the rules-based trading, if you feel that you've grown beyond that, or you're coming to us and you've got years of experience, but you recognize how spot on our entry points can be on the concierge, so you simply want to become a concierge trade alert client so that you know where our entry points are on the long and short side, you'll take care of the rest because you have that kind of experience in technical analysis. All right, fair enough. On the Russell, yesterday we had a $650 per contract move after a $250 per contract move. Today, all we got was a $280 per contract move. When you get a wide-ranging day, it is not unusual to get a narrow range day. This isn't that narrow, really. We never triggered on the long side. Okay, so that's it. I've spilled the beans. I do believe this is going to be video number 10. When I post it, I'll note it appropriately. Okay. I just want to get back to, and I passed it. Here we go. I want to roll back to rolling. The heck is that? Usually have it up on the screen. Maybe it's over here. Yeah, there we go. These videos I keep talking about, they're all at emini.cfrn.net. Now, I've just done a 9-10 day series, but I've been doing them off and on for the last few years. So you can go to this address and watch as many of those as you want. Also, each day on the radio show, I recap the Concierge Trade Alerts, good, bad, or ugly. It doesn't matter, because we understand that getting stopped out is part of our cost of doing business. It's our inventory. It's just like the guy at the Subway shop. If he freaked out every time the guy yells back, "Hey, we need more salami and more cheese," he'd go nuts. The fact that he needs more salami and needs more cheese means he has a great business going on. He needs more inventory, okay? Think of the trades that get stopped out as your inventory. It's going to take a while to accept that you're not perfect, especially if, we have such a high percentage of doctors, of surgeons, airline pilots, scientists, engineers, people whose jobs don't allow a do-over. If you don't land that plane right every time, you're going to be out of a job. If you don't open that patient on the right side every time you need to take out the appendix, you're going to be looking for work, okay? Engineers, if that building comes tumbling down, architects, if the building comes tumbling down, no room for error. With trading, if the best trader on planet Earth, the guy with the co-located server and all the big screens around him like Shepard Smith, and people running around with their little iPads calling out advanced decline numbers and such, and he stands in the middle computing it all like Dr. Bull, and then he calls out the trade, and some guy over here in the corner with thick glasses, no offense, he punches in the order because he has very slender fingers. So he doesn't ever fat finger the trade. You with me? All right? That guy, he's only profitable 7 out of 10 trades. Doesn't get any better than that. I don't care what the website says. I don't care what the email says. I don't care what the guy says. Being profitable 7 out of 10 trades, it does not get any better than that. Period. Okay? So you have to learn to gracefully accept that if you get 3 stop outs in a row in the morning, you're not a failure. You haven't lost your edge. Your strategy no longer works. It just means you got the nose out of the way early. When I used to run a sales crew, Come lunchtime, some of them still didn't have anything on the board. They'd be hanging their head. I'm like, what's wrong with you? "Oh, I don't have anything up on the board yet." Well, good. That means you got all the no's out of the way. The afternoon's going to be nothing but yeses. And they look at me and go, "Really?" And I go, "Yeah, really." And they would go back to their station with that belief, and guess what? They would rock the world that afternoon. Do you want to rock the world? Then do this. Sign up for our podcast here. And then go here. emini.cfrn.net. Yep, that's not going to take you anywhere. You got to put the E up there. Now it's like magic. This big ugly URL that you can't remember, URL, that's URL, Universal Resource Locator. Last night, yesterday's radio show, this week's weekly trading zones, radio for Wednesday, day 8. Okay, so that makes this day 9. So the video I'm doing right now, this is number 10. Yeah, this is probably a good place to just cut it off for now. You can always come to the radio show and watch me do the video recap live in real time. All right? Now, it's time to take the trial. If you haven't taken the trial, it's time. Now, our computers are set up to track by IP address. And so, if you come in, under some pseudonym, it's going to pop up on our screen, and then it's going to create an awkward situation for both you and I. If you've already taken the trial, you're not going to learn anything by continuing to sneak in, okay? Because you need the one-on-one mentoring sessions with me so I can teach you the finer points that I don't give out on the radio, obviously. You need to spend that one-on-one time so that you can go, "Oh, now I get it," and you're ready to rock the world, okay? So, don't step over $100 bills to pick up pennies. If you've had your trial, you know what we got is exactly what you're looking for. Bite the bullet. It's not a big bullet. It's a fraction of the guy on late night TV. It's time to become a partner. I mean, I hate having to call guys up and go, "Look, man, the second time you took the trial, I turned my head. The third time come on, it's not fair. It's not right." "Well, I don't know what you're talking about." So then I send them a screenshot of all the time. They're like, oh, I didn't realize it was the same company. Oh, okay. I got the most distinctive voice in the universe. It's not exactly a radio voice, but I've been on the radio now. I'm in my second decade, so let's not play that game. Either you want to learn or you don't. You're either willing to make the investment, but people go, "Yeah, but I've spent so much money." Okay, I'm sorry you spent it in the wrong place, right? I'm sorry that the people who promised you one-on-one mentoring didn't actually give it to you. I had 2 mentoring sessions this afternoon. He said, "Man, as soon as I paid those people," in fact, they both said, "As soon as I paid those people that money, they wouldn't even speak to me. They didn't return my emails. They didn't return my phone calls." That's not how we do business. We haven't grown to the size that we are over the, we're in our, what are we up, coming up on our 12th birthday in April? We just had it, I guess. Just had our 12th birthday. So I guess we're into year 13. We started in 2005. 5 to 17, that's 12. So I guess we're into our 13th year. All right, whatever. That's not important. What happened yesterday, last week, last month, it's not important. What happens today, that was important. And what happens Sunday night, that's going to be important. And what happens Monday, that's going to be important. Beyond what happened today, I'm not going to concern myself. Sunday night, I'll sit down, I'll analyze the markets, and by 6:30 p.m. Eastern, I will send out the Concierge Trade Alerts. If you have not taken the trial, I will be sending them to you if you take the trial. If you've already taken the trial and you frittered away your time, or you got sick, we are the people of the second chance. But do the right thing. Email us and say, guys, I took the trial 2 months ago, but I didn't quite get it, and I didn't really understand it, and by the time I started to catch on, the doggone thing was over. Would you consider giving me another shot? The answer is probably yes. Depends on how many times you've taken it. So get a hold of us over the weekends, support@cfrn.net. Call us at 949-42-EMINI. Go here, watch a gazillion videos, sign up for our podcast, subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you a dime. Just put this address into your address bar on your browser and hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing, makes us look good. That's a win-win situation, right? You can get your platform downloaded over the weekend, get your indicators up and running. It's all automated. If you already have NinjaTrader, when you take the trial, watch the NinjaTrader video so you can get your platform ready for our indicators, and then we'll turn the indicator. We have the power to turn the indicators on for you in NinjaTrader. We also service multicharts.net. We also service any broker that clears through Gain Capital. Gain Capital is one of the largest clearing firms in the industry. If your broker clears through Gain, they have a platform that looks identical like this. Why? Because it's provided by Gain Capital. All right? So you let us know, and Michael will go in and he'll do a couple little tweaks, and he'll get that platform running so that our indicators, which look like this, will work. Bearish cross, price pulls away, price pulls back, down close, sell the open to the next candle. Whee! Price pulls back to physically touch the BBC, down close, sell the open to the next candle, -1 tick, whee! And more whee! We have lots of fun, okay? Don't take life too seriously, it's too short. Have some fun. Stop and smell the flowers. Hug your children. Read them a story. Kiss your wife. Hold her hand. Tell her you love her. Okay? Life's good, man. Life's good. I really hope I see you in the training room Monday morning. If you need some help over the weekend, call me. I have a great wife. She'll understand. She'll actually let me take the call. All right? Take care. See you soon.